Okay, so here goes. Going to be painting Vision tonight. It's the last one of the Marvel United miniatures. It's taken me 9 days to do all the expansions and the stretch goals. The original core set I actually did last year because I did 2-wave shipping. So I think they took me about 3 or 4 days to do the 10. I'm not sure on that one. So in total it's going to be about 12 days work. Anyway, the other thing I'm going to plug while I'm doing this is Redgrass wet palette. This is actually the new membrane at the top. So it's actually got markings on the back so you know which way up it goes. Just been sent the new membrane, foam. Membranes are actually a thicker paper, I suppose is what you'd call it. And this one I've already used. Been using it to do the last 5 or 6 in the last couple of days. A lot better, if you ask me. A lot better quality. And as I say, it's washable. So I've just washed off everything that was on there earlier. Okay, there's still some bits on there, but a lot better than the normal one that they had, because obviously, you know, use it once then throw it away. But yeah, apparently you can wash this 3 times. Anyway, that's just a slight plug for their Kickstarter starting in May, and a thanks to them as well for sending me sort of new inserts and some, well, quite a few of these membranes and another holder as well, which is quite handy. So it looks a lot cleaner on the video. Anyway, I'm going to start painting Vision. Hopefully I'm going to talk through what I'm doing. Just putting on some magnifying glasses. It's getting a bit late again, but I want to get this guy finished. I've got a laptop beside me where I've got the artwork from the game to look at, and hopefully you can see what paints I'm going to use. So I'm going to use this for the cloak. So at the moment this won't be too tidy, and yes, I'm taking some paint out of the pot, put it in the wet palette, and let's go. You'll probably see how messy and untidy I am. I don't know if this is going to show how fast I am or not, but you know, there's room for improvement, future videos, etc, etc. A bit more water in that, it's a little bit. I said at the moment I'm not really too fussed about how this looks at the moment, because this isn't the final colour anyway. So I'm just going to try and get the base coloured down as quick as I can. As I said, hopefully you can see me. I don't really want to be painting too much over the wet palette because I don't want to get paint all over the place like I normally do, because I generally paint standing up a lot of the time. So I'm normally painting in between customers at work when it's quiet. So I'll probably show the points rather than try and pronounce half the names. Might be easier. Again, I hope you can actually, I hope this is actually in shot, because I can't really see. So I'm very impressed with this new wet palette membrane already. So I've been using it, I think it's a couple of days now. I've done 10 or so with it, if I remember rightly. I'm starting to lose track of how many I've painted in the last few days. So that's his cloak done. Okay, next up is green. Cabalite, is it? Cabalite green, I think we would call that. I'm going to just make that brush a bit. Get some of this on here. And generally, get this on roughly where I need it. Maybe I'll check the artwork because I can't remember which one these boots are. Be careful because some of this is a little bit watery, but again, not too worried about neatness at the moment. I'll get tidied up later. To a degree anyway, it's mainly getting the base colours on here. I know that I've gone over some of the bits of the leg that I don't want green on. And I have to keep referencing this, and I mean I know the character from the movies, but I don't know every little detail of where paint's going to go on him yet. I say the paint's fairly watery, so it just should slide into, well, where I need it. So this might take a bit longer than an hour, but I don't know if I'm going to pause it when I hairdryer it, just to avoid the noise. I might pause it for a second as well when I do a wash over it, because then I can just hairdry it off and then get back to the video. We will see though. I probably left one of the easiest ones to paint last actually, because there's not that many colours on him. I think I've got about 10 or so colours in front of me, maybe a few more than that. Some are there because I'm not quite sure what colour I'm going to use yet. I had this problem earlier, there was one I wasn't quite sure what colour I wanted, and I ended up sort of changing that part way through. So I thought it looked better. I'm not really worried about all this going over his face. I realise his head actually stops about there. The design's up sort of there. And there's the bit under the chin and on the chin bit. So again, I probably can't paint it as fast doing it this way, because I'm sort of talking, concentrating, looking at the artwork, etc, etc. When I'm just doing it, I tend to look at the artwork, just get on with it. I'm trying to, oh, I didn't mean to take that out of the pot. Try this a little bit more engaging if I can. Okay. Got an idea of what I'm going to do for the leg coming through the wall there a bit later. Okay, so we've got them going there. Right, I'm going to just quickly hairdry that off camera. Take the majority off. Just going to get a little bit of yellow here. This is Ariel yellow, so hopefully that's in shot. I'm just going to do a couple of little bits that I want. I've already marked out. So I'm using an army paintbrush here because I actually haven't got any decent paintbrushes at home. Most of them are just half chewed up dog-eared paintbrushes I've been using. It's mainly at the moment due to a bit of a lack of funds, so I'm just using what I've got left over. Some cheapy ones in all fairness, so none of these have been painted with anything really expensive. Right, I'm going to just try a bit of brickwork here using a bit of Trollslayer's orange. Slap a bit of that on there, and Mogfang brown, if that's how you pronounce it. I'm running out of this as well. So, mix this in. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I actually need to mess around with that a little bit more later. I mean, a lot of the figures I've done have all got grey bases just because I like the simplicity on them. I mean, since they're in a board game and not going in the display cabinet, I'm just painting them to look pretty. Yeah, I suppose there's amazing painters out there, loads of you can go follow if you want really, really awesome stuff. But for me, I just like having a game without grey plastic in it, or whatever colour the plastic is, if that makes sense. getting a bit quiet at the moment because I'm concentrating. As I said, not really a lot I can say. I'm just putting the brick mix on. I'm doing that while he's drying. And there's a, this is black metallic, there's a tiny little metal grate down on the base there. Just put a bit of black metallic on there. As I said, this character is fairly straightforward. Maybe not for some, but you know, I see him as being quite simplistic. As I said, hopefully you can see this, because I don't know if I'm moving too fast or what. All of the bases have got Mechanicus grey on it, and yes, I have a bad habit of just painting straight out of the pot with these, but let's just get a bit of water and wipe that down a little bit. Again, I don't really know what you can see here. I mean, I'm just painting the base grey. See, I don't know if people wait for their paint to dry in between different colours. Me, I just tend to sort of just go for it. As I think I've said to a few people recently, normally grab the artwork, whether it be the cards out of the board game or pictures online. I had to look up some of the guys' suits because I don't know them. Have that as a reference in the background. Every now and again, check up on it, make sure you're getting it the right way around. And as I say, sometimes I may add a little bit of my own flair to it. But since I want it to match what's in the game, most of the time I paint it that way. I need a little bit more of that grey. Oh, it's running out, so there's not a lot in there. Like a lot of my paints, they're getting a bit low. So, there you go, grey base, bit of brick, metal work. There's not much more left on the colour front here at the moment. I'm going to do a tiny bit of this Retributor armour on part of it. I don't know if I'm keeping this yet or not, it just depends how it turns out. But I was going to do it on the bits in his cape, cloak, whatever you want to call it. Them to stand out a bit more. Ooh, that's a little bit watery there. Trying to work out where half of them are. They're not coming through that clear on part of it, so we'll just have to roughly gamble at where I think the lines are. Ooh. Don't know when you slip like that either. Maybe one of them ones where you want a back shot of the cape. I had to look at the back shots of some of the characters myself. Again, because I don't know them. Okay, let's just check the shoulders. The shoulders have got a slight brighter yellow in that edge there. And that is probably going to be all I want on the gold. Yeah, right, so we've just got a tiny bit of black. Just going to black out his eyes now. Okay, I don't need any of them yet. Okay, so This Screaming Pink is the colour I was going to use, but I've realised that most of this is actually dried up in here, so I don't know if I'm going to get much out of it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. I haven't used some of these paints for a while, mainly because I don't have any use of Screaming Pink. So we'll put a bit of Screaming Pink on there, and then I'm pretty certain this is blocked as well. Army Painter, Crusted Saw. You think they come out of that? No, I have to do it the other way then. Let's see how this works. Oop. Let's get some of these out of my way here because I'm going to end up knocking them off the side. Okay, let's just a little mix together. I don't want that all up my paintbrush. A little bit less watery if I can help it. I actually want that in. I want that green in there as well. It's actually quite nerve-wracking doing this on film, you know. Not that I've got a problem with everybody seeing it, I just, you know, you put yourself out there, and obviously some people like it, some people don't. I'm not fussed about that. But you're just trying to make it so that other people can learn from how you do it, I suppose. I haven't really, I've done sort of bits and pieces. I did a couple of days with, I'm trying to remember who they were now. It's not Siege Forge, but it was Siege somebody, and I can't remember the name of them. Blast, I'll have to find that one out. Yeah, I did a two-day course with them, learnt a lot. Good fun that was. This is actually a bit more watery than I want it to be because it's slipping out of the areas I want it in, but it will do for now. But that's my fault for putting too much water on the brush. I'm probably using too big a brush, but I haven't really got much options at the moment. Right. Don't know how long this has been so far. I hope you're not bored yet. As I said, Vision really hasn't got a lot on him, if I'm not mistaken. What we've got left, we've got the boots. As I said, I don't know if anybody else paints like this, but you can pretty much see that most of the miniature's still wet. And it sometimes helps blend colours in, but sometimes it doesn't. Right, what have we got left here? We have got his face pretty much. So let's just make sure I get the right area of face. So it's up here. I didn't mean to go over earlier. So I'm probably going to sort this paint out and thicken it up a little bit because it's a bit watery. I think I probably will pause it and then dry them off quickly, give them a quick Agrax wash, and then come back, because as I say, at this point here you've pretty much seen the base colours that are going on, and I'll probably mix a quick colour. I don't know yet, I might just see how this goes, you know. Right, as I said, I'm not worried about that back boot at the moment. Right, let's give this a quick dry. So he's all dry. I'm just going to touch up just a couple of little bits that I want to make sure are green. I'm not worried about that in there at the moment because I've got to tidy that up. Let's get that bit in there. Hopefully you're still with me and you can still see all this. Again, I sort of checked the angle before I started, but I didn't check it again after I'd started. Right, again, it's pretty basic like that. And here we go. Have a quick blast of the old hairdryer. That doesn't help. I'll drop the miniature. Now we're going to the old Agrax shader. Just quickly get that over. Oh, I realised I missed a bit on his cape. I've missed the red on the cape. I'll sort that out in a minute. When we come to the final stages. So some people may look on in horror and think, oh my god, don't do it that way. But it's working for me, so that's why I do it that way. I don't know when I get around to posting this video, hopefully soon. Yeah, I think that cape is going to work out as planned. Right, as I said, mainly it's just to get it in the crevices and everything. Right, I can get rid of that and get some other paints out of the way. I'm going to try and make this red a little bit thicker before I carry on any further. That will do. I also want to add a bit of orange to this brown now. Quick swig of coffee. You might see my coffee cup. Right, let's just hair dry this off the side. Right, pretty much dried. Sorry if you don't have the hair dry bit. That's probably something I'm not going to do in future stuff. Okay, let's start with the base. Let's just tip that up in the background because I'm running out of that as well. Again, I was sort of saying about the new membrane here. So it's keeping everything wet and stuff, but it's not so thin that there's water coming through it, which I think might have been a slight problem for some people in the past. I don't really have any issues with it. As I say, I was fine with my paint getting a little bit wet. It just goes on easier, quicker. And I hope I'm under the camera. Sorry, I keep moving the figure in front of my face. I just realised something as well. He's got some light bluish eyes, so we might need another colour from the back here. Let's just have a quick look. Ooh. There we go. That'll do. Right, let's start with the light grey. I'm going to put a bit of Vallejo white down here. Something else I'm running out of at the moment, which isn't surprising. As I say, I've just painted 70 odd figures in 9 days or whatever it is. Just take some of that off there and put that on there. Right. Right, might need to tidy that up slightly, didn't quite go where I thought it was going to go. Right. Oh, don't know if I like this paintbrush, has got a bit of a thing on it. This is a very, very done in Games Workshop paintbrush here. There's literally no hair left on it at all, but that's great for fine detail, or very fine detail. Yeah, I hope this is kind of what people want. I have no idea. Ooh, didn't move so much, not so much. Okay, I'm doing the usual. Oop, I've gone quiet. I'm concentrating on what I'm doing. So, I'm just going to move some colours out of the way here. Alright, let's go back over this. I think that gold's working for me. Oh, I don't know what that was. Water or something on the brush, I think. Shouldn't have been that. That's gone. As you can probably tell, I've got a couple of little bits of fancy equipment. I said I love these holders because of the fact you can just spin them around, and if you're doing multiple things you can just take off the tops. I'm not going to take it off, but yeah, you just take it off the tops and sort of paint one, change it for another one. But I actually found it's easier for me to have like 8 holders all with characters sitting on them, and then I could just paint a bit of one, change it over for another one, etc, etc. Alright, I'm hoping when I come around to actually do the rest of the cloak, this gold will show up. If it doesn't, I may still change it. I don't know if it's going to show up or not yet. Depends how the rest of the cloak goes. Because technically those bits are actually meant to be a bit lighter. So I may well add some silver or something to it. A bit of yellow in there. Let's see how this works. I don't know, I think I might get away with that. What do we think? I don't know. Oh, I've got to stop painting out the pot. I think I might actually leave it like this, although possibly in the artwork it's slightly different. It's lighter on the golden areas, so it's slightly darker on the non-golden areas, obviously. I don't know why I'm using this silly little brush to do this, because I say might take a lot longer doing it this way, but who cares? I'm not really in a rush. Final miniature and all. So there's enough power in my phone actually. Oh, let's just change from that stupid brush. I don't know why I'm using that. It's going to take me all day doing it like that. I'm going to do that, missed that one there. I'll make over one by accident. Oh well. That's what happens when you don't concentrate on what you're doing. So normally I sit here and quiet and paint, but because I'm having to video, chat, try and make it sound interesting, even though I don't think it does. So I don't really think I paint that much different from anyone else. I just get stuff done. Just pick up a miniature, just say get the artwork, get the paints I think I'm going to use, and bang, just go for it. And generally once I start, that's it, I just keep going until it's done. And then you just get the next one, and so on and so forth. I'm turning this way so you can see, but it's not necessarily the easiest way for me to hold it. But again, I have no idea really what you can see on that camera at the moment. I just hope you can see enough to make it worth you watching it, worthwhile you watching it, I should say. Right. Oh, but I didn't mean to mess up a minute ago. that'll do for now. I may still go back over that, because there's still something I'm thinking about doing on that. I said the general green I'm probably not going to touch too much, because it's more or less the colour I want it to be. Right, let's have a look at this brickwork and see what we can do on that. Just a bit of that orangey brown mix. If it was Troll Slayer and Mogthorn, Mogthorn, whatever however you want to pronounce it, brown it is. Probably said it completely wrong. I think I said to somebody I tended to stick to certain old paints because there's somebody locally selling them, but at the moment he's stopped trading. I don't know if that's going to continue or not. So I'm now reduced to eBay, and I actually prefer the dropper bottles anyway. Although even they get clogged. But when people ask what paint you use, there's a P3, there's a blue I love, so I always use that one. The black metallic, I love using that, and I've got a load of other metallics from Scale, which I really like as well. So I tend to find some of the golds and stuff never used to work. And I used to use gunmetal, but now I say I use black metallic and tend to mix it, and then you can just use the black metallic and mix it with a sort of very white silver and gradually build up the colour on it if you want to. So I've mentioned before, my hands, I actually haven't got the best grip, so you'd think this shiny surface would be a bit slippery, but I actually really like them. You know, I suppose I could always stick some rubber around it or something like that just to make it a bit sturdier. Right, I'm going to add a little bit of white to this if I can get it. Just on it. A bit around the edges. I don't know if I like that or not yet. So let's see what it looks like in the end. So I just tend to just dabble sometimes, just improvise, and whatever ends up at the end is what it looks like. You know, that apparently that artistic license, artistic flair is what I say, but who knows? It's whatever you want it to be, really. I want it to be a bit abstract, the wall behind me, so. It's just turned up in the background. I've got a lot of comments on Facebook at the moment. Probably all the things I keep posting, which some of you will be glad to see the end of, I am sure. And you can start painting your own ones. Because some of you, unfortunately, have not even got your Kickstarters yet, so yes, I do feel for you. There you go, so bit of brick wall. More on the back there. Yep, I'm fairly happy with that. Right, now let's deal with that leg at the back. That leg at the back is going to be white, and so is part of that cape. And we'll be explaining more on that in a minute, because obviously he's doing his going through walls thing. It's not so much a teleportation as it is, I don't know what it is actually. I can't think what the word is I'm looking for. Whatever it is when you pass through a wall. If you can hear that, my daughter's upstairs singing, even that's getting a bit late. That's the little one. So we're going to just that on that side. I've got the numb foot where I'm sitting in the same position. So it's not that natural doing this. Just want some white in there. Righty. Right, what have we got to do next? Let's go for that really skinny little brush and a bit of ice. It's not ice blue, it's whatever blue it is. It's, I think it's Temple Guard blue, that's it. And just put his eyes in. Tend to just do them black, white, whatever colour it is. Black dot for the pupil, white dot for a little bit of light reflection on the eye. Job done. Nothing more complicated than that. Right, I am though in need of some more white, and this is the Scale White Alchemy. And again, I know this is blocked because I was trying to get some out of it earlier. Just going to try something here. I don't know if I want to do this or not. Let's have a look. There's not one of my paintbrushes.